School start times can vary drastically depending on your location, state, and sometimes even the country from origin you originate. But it's usually safe to say that the average school start time is somewhere between 6 to 8 a.m. And despite this being the way we've done things for several decades, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best way to conduct school. In fact, the opposite may be true with more recent research that takes into account the circadian rhythm and natural sleep habits of teens to suggest that there are actually potential health benefits to starting later, in addition to the possibility of academic benefits from later school start times. However, before I can get into all that, I need to explain some of the basic biology behind humans. So, as I mentioned the term the circadian rhythm. To define what a circadian rhythm is, it is the natural process that regulates the sleep wake cycle in humans, and it is crucial for the overall health of people. And the circadian rhythm is actually different between adolescents and adults. And to quote Aditi Das Faribault, I may have pronounced that right, who is actually a sleep expert who has their name on close to 20 some odd sleep based articles that I could find, says that the circadian rhythm between teens and adolescents slash teens and adults are different. And adolescents' circadian rhythms are more in tune to stay up later into the night and sleep in more towards the afternoon, while adults will go to bed earlier in the night and wake up early in the morning. So the current school system is actually against what teens' natural circadian rhythm wants them to do. And if you don't want to trust the circadian rhythm, which is a process we can't necessarily see, it's backed up in the cultural and social aspects of teenagers. This is why teenagers are more likely to stay out late with friends, talking and hanging out, and sleep until noon rather than go to bed early and, wake up in the morning. And to expand upon this further, by pushing there are potential improvements for pushing it back. And one of these is illustrated in a study done by the Monthly Labor Review with the main researcher of Jeffrey Norm, which found that by pushing school back by 1 hour, students can get on average 36 more minutes of sleep, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's 36 more minutes of sleep where a student gets to rest, regenerate their body, let their mind process the day's prior events, which is beneficial to their overall health. And there's actually a correlation that both of these studies pointed out between more sleep and healthier being. However, in addition to this, a study conducted by Jeffrey Leonard, who is an expert in academic achievement, took into the fact what more sleep can do and actually found that there's a correlation between students who get more sleep and improvement on test scores to do with vocabulary, language, and mathematics. So in addition to the improved test scores that students oftentimes present when they get more sleep, there's actually health benefits as well, and healthier students who can perform better are better for society. However, despite the fact that I just listed a bunch of benefits for this, if it was as simple as it's way better than the current system, it already would have been implemented. And it actually already has been implemented in some cases. The state of California passed a law back in 2018 or 2019 that made it so schools could not start before 8 a.m. in the morning. And school grades have actually academic performance has actually gone up in the state of California in the few years post that law. So this idea is far easier to pass into law because it's not an unprecedented thing. It's actually just follow the leader. And when following the leader, it is much easier to be like, well, look at the benefits over there. So to get this issue fully noticed, one needs to be aware that the current system that we've established is not necessarily the best system, and that there are better systems out there that are already working. And by showing the system already working in place to the people in power, so the most important people here are parents who want what's best for their children, because if you can get parents to be concerned and get behind an issue, it is very likely to carry forward into the education, because parents want what's best for their children. So by spreading the information about school start times to more people and showing instances where it already works with earlier school start times, we are more likely to get this system heard about, get people talking about it, and get it to go into practice.